It's Monday, October 14th, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central, the longest continuously running tech podcast. This is show number 898, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Our October GoDaddy special, our customers get economy hosting for $1.99 per month and free.com from GoDaddy by using the promo code HOSTOFF3 or get a .org for $9.99. Details to follow here a little later in the show. Hey, Geek News Central is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. Make sure you go over to techpodcast.com. Hey, get your checkbooks out, folks, or your Visa cards. We need your support. We're going to be talking about our new crowdfunding initiative. Let's launch this, baby. It's go time.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right, I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There is no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Showtime.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central, coming to you as live as it can be from the beautiful state of Hawaii via the Geek News Central studio overlooking Greater Honolulu. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. My name is Todd Cochran, your host here at Geek News Central. I've got a great show lined up for you today. Lots to talk about, lots of tech, even though it's kind of a holiday. Some people worked, some people didn't. I don't think the feds are working at all, but that's for a whole different show. But hey, everyone, welcome to the show, and show 898, 2 away from 900. And I'm going to say that this show probably will be as monumentous as show 900 because it's something that we just launched minutes ago before I went live. I'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. But I tell you, I want to welcome everyone. I want to give a warm welcome to the Ahana, all the longtime listeners and viewers of the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. Those of you that are checking the show out for the very first time, you kind of caught this show kind of on a weird one, because we're going to spend some time at the beginning of the show talking about a new initiative. We're probably going to go a little long there, but don't fret. I've got lots of tech to talk to you tonight, and it's really important. Those of you that are longtime listeners of the show, hold your horses. Don't go anywhere. Let's get through this first part. I want to share with you a new initiative that we've launched just, literally minutes ago as of me going live here tonight. So, again, warm welcome to the Ahana, warm welcome to everyone that's listening or viewing on the stream tonight. We're up on YouTube. And, of course, you can reach me here on Twitter at Geek News, or you can email the show, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. The hotline is still open for about another 16 days at area code 619-342-7365, where you can leave a comment if it's going to go down in misery here in a few weeks. So the voicemail hotline is about to die. You can check the show out on iTunes. We're on the Zune Marketplace. We're just about everywhere you could possibly consider, and you can watch the show really at any location. And of course, most importantly, you can come over to geeknewscentral.com and check. Oh, let me not do that. You can come over to geeknewscentral.com and check out the site there. This is a great place to get hooked up, and we got lots of great content on the website, whether it be audio, video content, or our bloggers who do a great job. And of course, we produce this show every Monday and Thursday night. The Gadget Professor comes out on Thursday night. Robot Underpants comes out on Wednesdays. A new media show stuff's going to get kicking here soon. Our special media events are going to get started kicking soon. And of course, our new media show is every Saturday. And we had a great guest. We'll talk about him in just a few minutes. But you can watch us on the Roku, on the Boxy, on the Samsung Smart TV, on the Google TV, you name it. Really, any place there's glass. If you have a browser, if you have a tablet, if you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, it doesn't matter. You can watch it or listen to the show really anywhere, anytime. That's what it's all about. So, subscribe to the show and get the newsletter as well. The newsletter contains everything I'm going to cover in the show tonight, or you can go over to gncshownotes.com, /898. That'll get you all the links to all the content that I'm going to cover. But it's best to be hooked up with that newsletter, and you'll find the newsletter sign up link at geeknewscentral.com. That'll guarantee that you get all the links to the show basically in your inbox immediately following the show. It goes out within about 30 to 45 minutes of me really I'm hitting stop record here, so you get it pretty quick. Again, didn't mention we're up on YouTube tonight, and of course I am a member of the Tech Podcast Network over at techpodcast.com. I do want to take a shout out to our sponsor tonight. Sponsor of the show, of course, is our friends over at GoDaddy. And GoDaddy's been a long-time sponsor here of the show. And well, I tell you, we've got some deals. Deals is what it's all about right now, for you to save money across a wide spectrum of their products and services. So this month, for $1.99, yes, for $1.99 per month, you can get economy hosting for 12 months. That's $24 for 12 months, but they're going to throw in a .com, which is about an $8 value. So you subtract that, and really, what are you looking at? You're looking at $16 for economy hosting, and all you got to do is go over to GoDaddy and use that promo code HOSTOFF3, and anyone can afford to have a website on a world-class hosting operation at GoDaddy for generally just, essentially $16 a month, and that's a great deal. So get a .org as well. Get a .org domain, and this is basically in conjunction with Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And ladies out there, make sure you get your annual exams. I will mention that right now we have a good friend of the family who, it's a good friend of our family that is starting down the road. Found something very bad, and she's going to have the full operation, chemo, everything else, and it wasn't necessarily caught late, but ladies, go get those mammograms every year, okay? Please, please, please do so. And if you have a family history, really pay attention to this. So you can get a .org for $9.99 by using the promo code ORG4, and promotion that GoDaddy's doing here this month. Hey, get 30% off your order at GoDaddy. This is a brand new order. When you're picking something up, use the promo code 30DEAL3. You can find all my codes. It's real easy. All you got to do is scroll down the website, and you're going to get down here. You're going to see this GoDaddy promo codes link. You're going to click on that, and that's going to take you to the part of the page. It's going to show you all of my codes, and essentially there's a deal there for everybody where you can save a lot of money, easy peasy. So we want you to get involved, use the codes, save some cash, decide how you're going to save some money over there at GoDaddy. We want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here. We want to thank all of you, obviously, for being supporters of the show as well by using their products and services. So let me just kind of cover here real quick some of the things that have been going on. New media show this past Saturday, we had Caleb Bacon from CalebBacon.com, or his Twitter feed, Caleb Eats Bacon, at Caleb Eats Bacon. Caleb's got a great show. He's basically doing these interviews with men that talk about a personal story, and I think it kind of really hit home to me in relation to what I used to do with my mom with the Sherry Cast. So definitely check his stuff up. Link will be, actually, his interview that we had with him is up on the website right now. And if you're subscribed to the New Media Show, you've already got it in your inbox. I know a few of you had trouble getting the video from the last show. Well, it was my fault. I never posted the doggone thing. I got an email from one of our dedicated listeners. He said, or viewers, he said, Todd, where's the video from the last show? And I'm like, what a knucklehead. I never linked it. So my bust, and it's up now. Apologize. Went through all the motions, uploaded CDN, but never made the hook in the blog post. So I will make sure I don't do that again. But thanks for being patient with me. Fast approaching the 900th show, and they're going to have a lot of fun on that show. So we hope that you'll be with us to celebrate. And even if you listen later, that's cool. But we're going to have a lot of fun. Still looking for someone to become my insider coordinator. So if you want to support the show by helping out, let me know. Looking for that insider coordinator, and looking for that. Let me know if you're interested in the position. All right, so let me talk just a little bit about something that we launched tonight. I talked about it a little bit on the last show, and it's a crowdfunding initiative for CES. Matter of fact, if you go over to the website now, you're going to see this big red banner across the top. It says support GNC's CES 2004 coverage crowdfunding, and it's got a link to what's going on there. So what I want to do is I really want to break it down for you guys, because I'm going to make a special offer. Okay, a special offer for all of you that are listening, that are part of this Ohana. This event is huge. My typical expenses to cover, just to get everything there set up, internet, hotels, it's generally about 20 grand. Maybe a little less, maybe between 17 to 20 is usually what I spend every year. No less than 13 or 14,000. But after we get done with the show, we have lots of post production cost. And we pay the bloggers that are putting the post up for you, and they work like dogs. So we pay them a higher posting rate. So all told, probably CES is 20 to 25,000 when I get all done with that 3-month period of cost to cover the show for you, to bring you 250 to 300 interviews from the event. Now, that's my cost. That's not, all our other folks that go out there. And I cover hotel rooms and food for a couple of people that I bring out. So, I don't have to cover everyone's hotel rooms, obviously. And then the sponsors over the past couple of years have come in, but they, it's always one of those things where you're really trying to figure out, okay, are we going to make budget or not? So this year, what we really wanted to do was take some of the heat off and let us focus a little more on the content and do a crowdfunding. And the crowdfunding, you guys rock these videos. There's a huge number of you that watch every one of the interviews. We see huge numbers. There was 32 million views so far of the 2013 coverage back in January, and that number's still counting. So we get big impact on that. And I know that it's not all comes from this audience. It comes from Geekazine. It comes from the other shows that are participating at 5 Live. And, of course, all of our tech podcast team as well, because they help promote the content. So we're starting this crowdfunding. Oh, why didn't I switch this back? We're starting this crowdfunding, and it's got a variety of levels. And let me just kind of, gosh, that was dumb. I had, those of you who are watching the video, I had the homepage up for a while, so I'm sorry. But the TPN, we're doing this over at funanything.com, and I'll have a link up in the show notes for you to find it easily. As a matter of fact, I made a bit.ly link that makes it easy to actually come over to the website. It's at bit.ly, bit.ly. Oh boy, wow, no, that is wrong. So let me. TPN crowd is what it's supposed to say. My goodness, let me do a quick edit here while I'm trying to talk. Oh my gosh, I can mess up anything. And it just, cracks me up here. And of course, Jeffrey sent me the link. Okay, there we go. TPN crowd. So let's try. Let's try this again. TPN crowd, bit.ly/TPN crowd is where the actual crowdfunding campaign is. So let me just talk a little bit about the levels. $10, you're general backer. $25, you get a T-shirt. You're on our backers page. $40, you get 2 T-shirts. $50, you can pay for a taxi ride as we race across Vegas to cover the show, and you get mentioned in the taxi videos. Name and link on the TPN backers and on the T-shirt. So we've got 50 of those. 50 folks. We generally take around 50 taxi rides, and so we got a $75 car rental supporter. Now we have one rental car at the show where basically we have a minivan and we use it to haul the gear around, and we've got 9 supporters at the $75 level. So That's a backer level. 100, and you get a T-shirt too, of course, and you get a link on the backer page. $100 is a dinner supporter. You buy 3 team members dinner, and you'll get a video shout out, link, and a T-shirt. So we're gonna do something cool at dinner. We're gonna have a little fun video. You get a shout out during the live stream as well. We'll tell you where we went. So it's all about giving you recognition. At the same time, you're helping support the show. We got 36 of those. If you want to buy us breakfast, we're there for 9 days. So the breakfast backer level is $250, and that's what it costs us to feed everyone for breakfast every morning. The team. So we've got 9 of those, and we're going to do something really special for you. We do a morning meeting, and we videotape that. We're going to have a lot of fun. Plus, as a backer, you're going to get a photo canvas discount coupon for 80% off at Cafe Press. So something you can use for your business and so forth, which is cool. We've got a hotel supporter level at $400, where there's 25 of those. And we've got a $500 level for a plane ticket supporter. There's going to be 25 of those that can be, crowdfunded. You get a video shout out from 35,000 feet. Also, you get a link on tpn.tv T-shirt. And also, you're going to get an X25 mount from juststand.org. Plus, now this is a special deal. If you do a $500 donation and you're part of this audience, and you tell me that you've done the $500 donation, I'm going to give you 1 month's free advertising on the show. That is a huge, 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 huge discount. But I'm going to give you the same type of love I've given GoDaddy. I'm going to give you a spot on the show. We're going to talk about your service, your website, your show. And that's so if you're a listener and you've got a business and you want some exposure, in addition to what we're going to give you on the Fund Anything website, is we're going to also hook you up. I'm going to hook you up with an ad. Now you have to tell me. You got to email me. Say, hey Todd, I came in there for the $500. Here's my name. I'm going to look you up in the system, and we're gonna run your ad for a month on the show. You're going to get 8 episodes of ads. That's cheap compared to my normal advertising rate. Also over on the Fund Anything website, we got 1,500. Now this is where it gets higher, and this is where we figure this will be like business people that are going to want to come in and support the show. We don't. If we get a listener that does this, I would fall over. But we're going to have our live stream costs us $6,000 for the internet for the week. So we got 4 live stream sponsors. So if you want to be our stream sponsor for the day, $1,500. We got 4 of those. Our shipping, $3,600 to get stuff out and back. Can you believe that? That's what my FedEx bill is every year. So we've got 2 of those. So 2 at $1,800. We've got a wrap-up meal supporter level at $2,000. Cover post production cost at $25,000, and then we got a real big one at $5,000, where you're basically the sponsor for the day at CES. Now, these are all done with the understanding here that we're going to reach out to the people we interview, or we're going to reach out to you. We're going to reach out to the podcasting community. And, we really got kind of a low bar, I guess, for a better word, set. We're going to try to raise $5,000. That's kind of our goal. We didn't know where we would come in, and we kind of threw a number about. All contributions, it's the only difference with fundanything.com, and we made all these levels so that they can be delivered upon. So if we don't get everything moved, we're still going to be able to deliver on everything in the backer promises. And that allows us to be able to get the money no matter what level we hit. But if you come in at $100 and you're a listener of this show, we're going to give you I'm going to give you a special gift from the show. It's not going to be high value, but it'll be a little special, personalized gift, little aloha, little family thing here as a fun. So really, I would hope that if you are considering coming in, if you're not a business person and you're a listener of the show, and if you can afford it, the $100 level will get a special gift from me. There'll be basically how many people contribute the $100. I will have a one of number on these special gifts. There'll be something that you'll be able to treasure and keep. And we hope that you'll come in at that level. Again, that's something just for you guys that listen to this show, that come in and contribute at least at the $100 level. And plus, you're going to buy 3 team members dinner during the week. So what I want to do, and again, this is really out of the bounds of the normal show, but this is really important to us. And you guys know, I think you understand, if you've been with the show a long time, you know the work that we put into going to this event. You know, Twit quit going. They don't have live coverage of the show. They're not there doing live. They have people there on the floor. They may have a live U-bag and do, a couple of segments. But we're there. We're giving you a new guest every 10 minutes. And then we come in and we put all that content together. You know it's an incredible amount of work and what we do to do it. So I hope that you'll come in and support us. We do it for you, the content for you, and we hope that you'll help support us in bringing the content. I want to play the YouTube video that Jeffrey and I and the team put together. It's 5 or 6 minutes. I hope that you'll listen all the way through. Then we'll come out, we'll get out of that, and we'll go into the tech content. But I think it's really important to hear what Jeffrey has to say in the video, and I appreciate your guys' basically patience to let me kind of expound upon this, because this really is a big deal. And I think we'll make history if we can really knock this thing out of the park. If we can really make a home run with this campaign, it may really give some other folks some ideas on how they can do some coverage of some events like this. So I think this is a big important thing, and we got my fingers crossed that we don't fall on our faces. I have full confidence that we'll succeed, but I'm going to go ahead and play this video for you, and let me go ahead and full screen it here, and let's see if I can start it. Hopefully the audio's patched through fine.
Thanks for supporting TPN TV at CES.
Thank you for supporting TPN.TV at CES.
Hi, I'm Jamie Davis, the Podmedic, and I want to thank you for supporting our coverage of CES 2014.
Thank you for supporting TPN.TV at CES.
Hello everyone, my name is Jeffrey Powers and I run Geekazine, found over at geekazine.com. I'm here to give you some exciting news and a great opportunity. Every year I join a group of independent podcasters to cover the Consumer Electronics Show through the Tech Podcast Network, or TPN.TV. We've been doing this for over 7 years, and the last 3 years we've actually started live streaming by purchasing a booth at the event. 2013 was our best show ever, and we moved to North Hall in a very prominent spot. Now for 2014, things are absolutely no different. We're going out there right after New Year's and we're hitting the Vegas Strip. Except we gamble in a different way, through the live coverage of CES. Every year we get sponsors to cover our show, which is great. But we started thinking, what about the people who watch the programming? Would you like to become part of our content? So this year we decided to add a new sponsor, you. With your donations, we can move forward and bring the amount of staff we need to keep bringing some of that great coverage of CES that we've done in the past. After all, airfare, hotel, and other expenses really add up. Our internet connection alone is going to be $6,000 just so we can get coverage to you. Now, all of the people here at TPN.TV really strive to give you the best content to this show. Our numbers really show that. And here to tell you a little bit more about those numbers is Todd Cochran of Geek News Central.
Hey folks, my name is Todd Cochran. I'm one of the hosts that are going to be at CES. I'm also the host of the Geek News Central podcast over at geeknewscentral.com. I'm kind of the numbers guy as well, and I keep track of our history and everything we've done at previous shows. And I just want to kind of share with you guys some of the numbers that we've had from last year's show and what we expect for this year. But what I'm going to start you out with is our expectations. And this year, what we expect is we expect to have 45 hours of live coverage, of course, with an initial 56 hours of show replays, reaching really a worldwide audience on both live and replay. We're also going to produce approximately 250 to 300 live and formal interviews. So there's going to be a huge array of content that we'll be producing during and after the show. We'll have 3 camera teams really on the show floor, covering everything wall to wall, and of course, complete after-hour coverage. Our 2014 results, we expect to have around 35 million consumer video views, with 85% of that being a U.S. audience, 7% Canadian, and about 5% UK, then the rest of the world kind of interlaced there, with a 78% male, 22% female breakdown. Now, just to give you a little idea, in 2013, what we did this past January at CES was we had 32 million consumer video views of the content we created there, with 238,000 social media mentions and links, with 5,681 third-party blogs that linked to our actual content. We had 181 PR firms that made mentions of our content. We had 211 vendors that we interviewed that actually use our interview of them on their corporate website, which was pretty exciting and really drives those views big time. 247 produced video segments. So that was the really grand total of all the data that we produced. And of course, the 45 hours of live studio coverage with a new guest every 10 minutes. And what was really nuts was our positioning in the hall was fantastic. We had over 100,000 people come by our live booth and see our signage and everything else that was going on. But with 3 floor teams covering the event, the live stuff, and of course 8 separate evening events, we cover this thing wall to wall. We are the smallest group of folks that create the largest amount of content at CES, and we're really a bunch of independent content creators, and I'm really excited with you guys supporting us on our crowdfunding. We've been covering this show for a long time, and we've had a great relationship with CEA, and we look forward to you supporting us in our crowdfunding effort. Thanks so much. I just wanted to share this data with you.
Thanks for supporting TPN.TV at CES.
Thanks for supporting TPN TV at CES.
All right, thanks a lot, Todd, for that information. Now let's talk about backer levels. A simple $10 donation starts it all out. For $25, you can get a TPN at CES design t-shirt. For $40, you can get one for yourself and one for your spouse. And of course, the levels grow from there. Other backer levels help us get around town, ship items, and even support our breakfast planning meetings, which is a daily video that we record to give you an idea of what we're going to do for the day. You can even support one member by taking care of their plane ticket. Now, if you're a smaller medium business, these larger backer amounts will give you some exposure to that 35 million views that Todd was talking about and what we're expecting. Banners on the website, mentions on the live stream, and a whole bunch more. Just check out the $5,000 and $10,000 level information. We really appreciate you taking your time to look at this great opportunity. Feel free to contact us with any questions, because we're here to give you the best coverage of CES that you can see. So check it all out. Check out the backer levels scrolling down the page, and we will see you at CES for Tech Podcast 2014 coverage of the Consumer Electronics Show. Take care.
Okay, that was from Jeffrey Powers, and great job, Jeffrey, on doing that video. I tell you, what it really boils down to is we just got this great group that are, hardcore dedicated to do the show, and we hope that you'll support us a lot. So the website, to get to the website, bit.ly, so that's the URL shortener, bit.ly/TPN crowd. That's the place to go, bit.ly. /TPN crowd. Link will be in the show notes. There's a tracker on the website at geeknewscentral.com. You're not going to miss it. Red flashing banner on the website as well. So we hope that you'll support us. Thanks for that. And now let me go ahead and get into the regular content, because you guys are like, okay, I've heard enough. And I won't hammer you every show like this. I promise I won't. But as you can tell, I'm pretty pumped up about this crowdfunding. I really am. It's going to be important to us to raise the money, and it really helps. It just takes the stress off. Takes the stress off me in a big time. We're going to be sending emails to all the people we interview. We're going to be doing a press release. We'll be doing some emailings to bloggers and podcasters as well, and trying to get the word out. So you'll hear more about this over the next week. Okay, so let me go ahead and get out of this, and let's go ahead and get into the tech of the day, which is probably what you're all here for, instead of hearing me jabber about this crowdfunding thing. All right, let me go ahead and clean up the browser over here and get rid of that. Oh, Podcast Awards close tomorrow, the 15th, 23:59. So if you haven't done your nominations yet, it's almost over. So the nominations close tomorrow. So just be aware of that. Okay. Let me go here. Why did I close that? Okay, I'm still good. All right. D-Link in the news. D-Link has got some issues. They have promised to close its router's back doors by the end of the month, in response to revelations that many of its consumer-grade devices include a string that provide unauthenticated access to its admin web pages. And this is not good. This is bad stuff. Basically, there's a series of D-Link browsers that basically got a back door, and there's an easy way in. And if I had a D-Link browser right now, I think I'd be a little bit freaked out on basically that entire situation. So just be aware of it, that there's an issue. They've offered some advice that says there are different hardware revisions on our products. Please check this on your device before downloading the correct corresponding firmware update. The hardware revision information can usually be found on the product label on the underside of the product next to the serial number. Alternatively, also can be found on the device web configuration, so that they've got a list of the firmware that's got an issue, and I'll have that link up in the show notes for you to check out if you've got a D-Link router in your house. Okay, so just be aware of that. All right. Okay. Next up is a lot of people are getting just pretty much freaked out over, and of course the New York Times. Yes, I don't unsubscribe. Everyone's getting freaked out about privacy, and there's been several articles here today talking about how much surveillance and how much basically spying on us is enough. There's been all kinds of grants given to cities to basically help them thwart terror attacks. And we know that those grants were used to buy police departments military-style vehicles, equip their SWAT teams with military-grade hardware. When it comes to a terrorist attack, they will really need. But one of the things that a lot of folks have done is they've invested in these shot detectors, gunshot detectors, which is in place in a lot of cities. They put up cameras everywhere. They've got even monitoring software that watches social media and look for evidence of criminal activities, all kinds of stuff. And the question is, when do we become a police state? Or are we already a police state and just don't know it yet? So there's a write-up here in the New York Times to talk about what Oakland has done, the city of Oakland, in California, and what they have basically done to try to put this dragnet over the city, try to reduce crime and activities that are going on. So anyway, what do you guys think? Is how much surveillance? We already know what the government's doing, but what about local governments and municipalities? How much are they really doing? With detecting on license plates and all this other stuff. It's got to make it go, just a little bit, doesn't it? As much money as they've spent, there should be no crime. If someone does something, they should automatically know, okay, we know it was this guy in this car or this gal or whatever it may be. It just makes you really think. It really, really does. But anyway, I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. And do you think we have enough? Do you want more? Do you think that it's got to the point of being ridiculous? Love to hear your feedback. I really would. So geeknews@gmail.com is the place to email me here. And of course, any questions you may have in the crowdfunding as well. All right, how many of you are sick and tired of seeing ads I know you're sick and tired of seeing ads on Geek News Central and a variety of different websites. At least, I hope you're not. But I know many of you probably don't like to see the ads on the websites and so forth that you go to. So if you're really sick of it, there's a new box. It's a little white box that blocks all ads from the internet for $139. It's called Ad Trap. I mean, this thing is about as simple to set up of anything I've ever seen. You just buy this thing, you take the cable out of your router and you plug it into that, and then you take another cable and hook it into your network, and then you're basically set up. And basically, this thing just blocks all ads from the internet. And it's not just banner ads that Ad Trap blocks. It works with YouTube to block those unskippable commercials, and eliminates in-game ads on your Android devices. And Mashable says it has a few problems with Hulu that are being worked out, but there are other ways to stop Hulu ads. But essentially, this thing's $139 and will remove ads from the websites and make your web surfing a pure experience, I guess. So definitely have the link up in the show notes. You can check it out. I'm mixed. I understand the importance of ads on websites, and so I don't think I'll be buying one. But if you do, love to hear what you have to think about it and how it works. All right, Silicon Valley. We haven't heard nothing out of Silicon Valley since the government shutdown. And there's a good article over in Computer World talking about tech lobbyists basically are essentially kind of in hiding at this point. It goes on to say in this article that the Valley may vote overwhelmingly Democrat in elections, but it has a very strong libertarian streak. It doesn't want Washington interfering with its business and startup culture. So, basically they try to stay out of politics as much as possible until it starts again and messing with their independent culture. But there's a good write-up here about what the tech lobby is doing during the government shutdown and the approach that they're taking. And I think a lot of probably groups are doing that at this point, trying to keep their head down and not become a target by any agency. All right, researchers, this is kind of a cool one. Scientists in Germany, and this is an article that's over on computerworld.com. Scientists in Germany and the Netherlands have determined that by using tungsten and silicon nitride as a storage medium, that they can store data that they say will last 1 million to 8 billion years. They propose using the medium to retain data on human physiology that could be seen long after the human race is extinct or we've moved off planet. The nearly indestructible discs were created by the MESA, M-E-S-A Institute for Nanotechnology at the University of Twente in the Netherlands and the Freiburg Institute for Advanced Studies in Freiburg, Germany. But basically, the disc consists of 338 nanometer thick layer of silicon nitride on top of silicon wafer, and a 50 nanometer layer of tungsten that's patterned into QR response codes for using optical etching lithographing on top of the silicon nitride wafer. But basically, they say this will last essentially, forever or 1 million years. And I find this to be pretty incredible. And they talk about what happens as the temperature goes up and down on the disk, and basically, being able to protect it. They protect it up to 763 degrees Kelvin, 913 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 hours, which caused some degradation, but it still worked. It was able to read the data, so that's pretty cool. And anyway, link will be up in the show notes on this. I guess if you want to send your ancestors a message, this is the way to do it. Hey, SpaceX Grasshoppers break the reusable rocket altitude record. They punched one up today, went to 700 meters, hovered, and then basically re-landed back on the pad. Very cool video. They were using one of those commercial hovercrafts at basically up at 2,100 feet to take the video as the rocket went by. So pretty slick there on the video. So I'll have that link up in the show notes for you to check out. But congratulations to SpaceX for hitting another milestone. I know many of you have heard about the policy that Google's changing that will basically display your photo besides ads when you have rated a particular product or service. And the ABC News is giving you the instructions on how to opt out of that Google policy, and a good way to get your basically not sell products for Google. If they do it on my website only, I'm cool. But if they put it on somebody else's website, I don't want to be over there. I want to promote the stuff that's on Geek News Central. I don't want to promote stuff on Facebook and a variety of other sites. So if you don't want to be promoting products and services that you have given a 4 or 5 or 3 or 1 star for, just be advised that is, there's going to be all kinds of accounts set up to game this, right? So anyway, link will be up in the show notes on how to get removed from the ABC News website. There's an article over on Slashdot talking about Gravity, and I went and saw Gravity Sunday. Took the whole family. We paid $12 a head to go see the movie. We did the 3D version of the movie, and I think after watching the movie that it probably would have been okay without 3D. 3D, there was some great 3D enhancements, but from a visual performance, this thing was pretty incredible. The action happened so fast, and some of the scenes, I wish it would have been a little not as fast, but it was probably what you would expect in space from a violent nature. And there were some pretty cool visual effects when they were going through the International Space Station and when there was fires breaking out. And I'm going to tell you, if that had happened in real world, we know that this basically and I won't do a spoiler here, but some of the things that happened would have never happened. Just largely because of orbits. The orbits are not stuff isn't just like traveling together, and they're not several hundred miles apart, and there are different levels. But anyway, all I can say is there was a stretch there. All I can say is they still tried to do stuff to a certain amount of reality, but it was a good movie. I must admit, I like seeing it on the big screen. If you haven't been to see it, probably one of those few that I will recommend to go see. And Bree, thanks for pushing me to go see it on the big screen. My wife enjoyed it too. That's saying a lot. And it's just one of those movies that I think, from a graphic standpoint, was pretty incredible. We already know that, moving on to a different topic here, we already know that stores like Walmart use all kinds of inventory control systems. Basically, when you pick something off the shelf, specifically, the example I use all the time is Gillette razor blades. They're very highly people like to steal them. They generally all have RFID tags in them to track them. So basically, when you take it off the shelf at a Walmart, the Walmart system knows that the Gillette razor has been removed from the shelf. Well, snack company Mondelez International, the makers of Oreos, Trident, and Cadbury eggs, and I don't know what Cadbury eggs are, will introduce a so-called smart shelf into checkout aisles. Beginning in 2015, the shelves will use Microsoft's Kinect software in addition to other tech to identify a shopper's age and sex, and then will use that info to deliver demographically tailored advertisements. The shelves will be used to track engagement, monitor how long customers watch each ad, and offer discounts if a customer is considering a purchase. Weight sensors will tell the machine if you pick up a product. I wonder if they're going to weigh us too. Mendelez says the software will only use and collect aggregate data and will not record any videos or photos. Yeah, right. So you're going to be walking. This is going to suck. You're going to go to the grocery store and it's going to be like, ding, Todd. It's been 3 months since you bought this and this. Ding, Todd. Here is a new product from a company. We know that you purchased this before. We're going to give you a special sample price. Ding. You're going to walk through the grocery store and it's going to be this immersive event. I just want to go buy groceries, But they're just taking this. It's all about marketing, folks. I love Oreo cookies. And as a matter of fact, I have to. They're not allowed in the house. There's just certain things that if they come to the house, they're cool until you open the package. But as soon as you open the package, you guys know what happens, right? They get 8. And, it's like, and you eat 10 times as many as you should. What is the average, you read the little chart on the back of the thing. It says, serving size is 3 Oreos cookies, 320 calories. And you think, that can't be right. And you eat 20, right? So we just don't even have them here to tempt me. That is, it's tough. That's what you have to, that's what we've really, my resistance level sucks when it comes to junk food. So I have to just say, don't have it in the house. It's not here. I can't eat it. And it's probably good for me in the long run. We're trying really hard here to eat smart and reduce the calorie intake and everything. I haven't gained any weight, but I haven't lost a lot of weight this year too. And it's not good. So we're trying to get smart. But anyway, long story short, grocery stores are going to be selling to you. Ongoing thing all over the United States about citizens filming police officers. And boy, police officers seem to get very apprehensive and upset when you're filming them, whether it be a traffic stop, whether it be an accident, an arrest. The people just get freaked out. And apparently in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, their police folks have basically said, hey, citizens are allowed to film on-duty officers, but apparently it hasn't made its way to the entire staff yet because another guy got shook down in Lancaster on basically filming the local police department there, and they weren't happy, but the guy didn't get arrested, but it just seems to be the police do not like them being videotaped. And I often question, okay, you're operating within the confines of the law. You shouldn't be worried about this. All right, over on Wired, the folks at ICANN are not happy. And the NSA leaks had prompted a rethinking of U.S. control over the internet infrastructure. And they have basically, the entire globe has basically ganged up on the United States and said, we're not having it no more. So, we've got basically a war going on. Now, ICANN is a nonprofit established by the U.S. They've never awarded a contract to manage the .com, .net, .cc, and .tv and .namespace to a company outside the United States. In fact, VeriSign of Virginia has always held the immensely economical value in .com handle. The Public Interest Registry, also based in Virginia, manages the .org domains. So ICANN is basically in their recent meetings and basically said, this is not happening. So there is a significant fallout from the Snowden revelations about NSA spying on the global internet, and there's going to be some change at the ICANN. They're going to take away, their members are going to vote away some control of the U.S. interest, and we'll have to see what happens here, because the United States holds they could play hardball, but the U.S. is not going to bode well to having this taken away from them. But basically, they're thinking of new forms of multi-stakeholder oversight as a substitute for U.S. oversight. And no blueprint exists, but they are developing a 5-year strategic plan, and it's taking public comment through January, which is going to end up, it's not going to be pretty. So the U.S. may lose control of some ICANN functions if the members come in and just basically do a body slam, which I think they're going to do. So we'll keep you advised on that as time goes on. All right, Juno, boy, it made it slingshot around the Earth late Friday, but excuse me, I think it was on Thursday. But when it did, it went into safe mode, and maybe it was pulling too many G's or something. But Juno went into safe mode for about 48 hours. But they did get the aircraft back online, and it's operating normally. They don't know what triggered the safe mode during the Earth flyby on Wednesday, but they are on course to reach its destination Jupiter in 2016. So it's outbound, going very, very fast. All right, there's some controversy going on at Scientific American Popular Science. Scientific American nuked one of its own bloggers, a female blogger, one of her articles, as she responded to an attack on her from basically another blog. A blog, basically, this gal is a writer over at Scientific American. She wrote some articles that caught the attention of another blogger. The blogger said, "Hey, we'd like to have you write for us." Turns out she said, "No, I'm not writing for free." And this blogger was real nasty and said some very bad things. He subsequently has been fired, but she went and did a retribution post talking about the how women are being treated in the science community. When she put it up, Scientific American pulled the article. Now, it was down for a couple of days. It's back online now, but apparently someone over there got a little heavy-handed. It's kind of interesting here that they would do that and not support their writer. But at the same time, Popular Science is basically shut down their comments. They're shutting off comments on their blog post. They don't want to deal with people that have alternate ideas about science and stuff. So they're trying to make sure that everything on Popular Science is based in fact. And they're cutting off their community. So I don't know what's going on with these groups. They're just getting a little weird, if you ask me. But anyway, I'll have a link up in the show notes you can read in details. There's this crazy article over at the genesisblock.com talking about Bitcoin. And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of like, what are they talking about? But apparently, these folks that are mining for Bitcoins are buying more and more powerful computers. And they're really churning out the Bitcoins now with this new hardware. They're seeing a huge increase in number of coins being mined. And I don't know how it fully works, but basically it's by running a logarithm. So at some point they produce a coin. But anyway, they're saying that a lot of the independent miners are no longer really doing it because it costs too much. And it's now being turned over. Basically, it's a lot of private and cloud-based operations are the folks that are generating Bitcoin. So it's too bad that the independents are being pushed out just because of the processing power required. But I'll have a link up in the show notes for those of you that follow that kind of stuff, all right? Boy, the folks over at Yahoo Mail are not happy. Anger explodes based on the redesign. Key functions have been removed or broken. Thousands upon thousands of furious Yahoo Mail users are telling the company its new design is a failure, and they want Yahoo to revert the changes. While new reports of serious technical issues mount, they've got like 3,946 entries on their bug page alone for Yahoo Mail. They've had an overwhelming outpouring of do not want. Basically, around 24,000 people have said no, no, no. They hate the new design, revert. So I don't know if you're a Yahoo Mail user. I haven't used it in years. And if you don't like the new design, I'd love to hear from you and basically what has transpired over there. Email me here, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. Hey, the Canadian government, hang on to your hat, those of you up north. Canadian government wants to unbundle television channels. Why couldn't this be U.S. government wants to unbundle television channels? That's what I really want to hear. So over on The Verge, the Canadian government is basically saying, hey, we don't think people should have to pay for stuff that they don't want. And we want the television industry to unbundle the cable offerings. And this is big, 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 big. They're going to soon require that consumers be allowed to buy cable and satellite channels on an a la carte basis. They say, we don't think it's right for Canadians to have to pay for bundled television channels that they don't watch. James Moore, Canada's industry minister on television. We want to unbundle television channels and allow Canadians to pick and pay the specific television channels that they want. I so agree. And we know HBO is already unbundled in Europe. So let's see if this ever happens in the United States. I doubt it because the cable companies and the television producers, now listen, have a multi-billion-dollar industry. Multi-billion dollars. And they write big fat checks to the people that are in Washington, D.C., to never, ever allow television to become unbundled. But over time, the internet may just change that. In not so surprising news, there's a new report out that NSA is reported collecting millions of email address books and IM contact lists worldwide. It's being said, though, that they do not have permission to do this in the United States. The Washington Post points out that NSA hasn't been given direct authorization by Congress or the FISA court for the broad collection of contact lists, and that they would be in fact illegal if they actually did so within the United States. Utilizing overseas collection points gets the NSA around those restrictions, according to the report. So, oh boy, here we go again. Cha-ching, cha-ching, another whack-a-mole. It's just about every 2 weeks, something new on this, right? Are we surprised? No. LavaBit is giving its users a brief chance to download their lost email. So here's the deal. If you are a LavaBit customer, starting today, it's already in process at 7 p.m. Central, users have a 72-hour window to change their password in case it was compromised and get a new SSL key in return. On Friday, October 18th at 7 p.m. Central, users should be able to download an archive of their stored email messages. Doesn't know how long they're going to be open, but this will be a short time for them to grab it and go. So I'm sure this guy's hurting for money and wants to bring his service back online, but I don't know if he'll ever be able to do that. Flickr has redesigned its individual picture pages with 25% larger photos. So if you're a Flickr user, when you go over there, your photo pages are a little bit bigger. So I know I use Flickr. I have to go over and check my stuff out. Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates is going to be contributing to tutorials at code.org education initiative. You know, what did I tell you guys? I told you guys about moving education online. We've talked about this a lot. I said, what would be the value of a Bill Gates doing educational stuff and contributing classroom time as a professor? Zuckerberg and him are going to be doing something. This is awesome. So they're taking a more hands-on approach as part of their mission with Code.org, the nonprofit that aims to make computer courses more prevalent in schools. Both of these tech icons will be contributing tutorials to an Hour of Code event slated in early December, set to coincide with the Computer Science Education Week. The Hour of Code is an introductory lesson designed to demystify code and show that anyone can learn the basics to be a maker, a creator, or an innovator. So I applaud these guys for doing this. This is fantastic. I hope they do more, and I think this is just another step in the decentralization of major colleges and so forth. There's a question out online asking, why did healthcare.gov's source code mysteriously vanish from public view? The site's front-end code is no longer available via GitHub. Now, one of the few... wait till I tell you guys this. Wait till you hear what website or what they're running the Hawaii Health Connector on. Wait till you guys hear this. But one of the few trouble areas on healthcare.gov is the site's front end. The information pages where visitors can learn about the healthcare plans available under the ACA, in contrast to the back-end system that have had a huge amount of troubles. A report on CNN today said that 20,900 people, there's a requesting information from each individual state on how many people have signed up. Only approximately 21,000 people have signed up for a healthcare plan, with another 90,000 people registered. Kind of shocking, isn't it? So anyway, they want to know where the source code went, and it's been removed. It is available on Internet Archive, so they preserved a copy. But listen to this. So I'm hanging out in here on Friday, and a good buddy of mine here in Hawaii, his name's Peter Kay. He does the Computer Minute, does a variety of different... He's a very successful serial entrepreneur. He had a couple of companies that basically made the close and he cashed out. So he's on television. He sends me this link. He says, hey, check this out. So he sends me a link to a TV interview where he's done it with a local, I guess it's KHON NBC affiliate here. And basically, the Hawaii has its own, what they call Health Connector. It's basically, you go to the website, this is where you put in your information. It tells you how much you're going to pay. It doesn't show you the plans, but it gets you to the point where you're just basically ready to go into the back-end system. Guess what it's running on? It's running on WordPress. They were given $55 million. $55 million to build the health exchange here in Hawaii. The public-facing website was designed by a local newspaper, the Star Advertiser here, which none of us knew they had a digital division that did websites. So their markings, basically the template and everything created for the front of the website and the forms are created by the Star Advertiser, a newspaper. So $55 million. $55 million to launch a WordPress front end. They didn't change the default login. It was admin. And there were several other very easy to see security violations that was in the system. And that's WordPress 101. You change the admin username to something else. I mean, my 15-year-old knows that in rolling out WordPress sites. So $55 million here in Hawaii, and a part of that was done to build the public website that is here in Hawaii running on WordPress. I love WordPress. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of WordPress. We do, all kinds of plugins for WordPress. I'm not a hater, but $55 million to launch a public-facing WordPress site. And by the way, the back end here in Hawaii doesn't work yet. No one has been able to actually sign up for a plan. You can view stuff off-site. They give you links, but there's nothing internal. They're supposed to have it working tomorrow, so we'll see. But I was incredulous. I couldn't believe it that they were running WordPress. So, what do you guys think? I tell you what, they should have called me. I could have made them a heck of a deal. I could have went over to GoDaddy. I could have bought a server, a dedicated server. That's $1,700 a year. I could have loaded WordPress on it for free. I could have went out and hired someone to make me a template. Let's say it cost me $1,000 to build a new template. So $1,700 for the server, $1,000 for the template. The actual WordPress site itself was free, so $2,700. I could have charged them $50,000, and they probably still been happy. But that would have been some incredible profit to have been made out of some people that just don't have a clue. Wow. Do you guys just find that amazing? So, Hawaii Health Connector running on WordPress. We all know, switching gears, let's get off that. Space Shuttle Endeavour's final journey across the United States was captured in a stunning time-lapse video. It's pretty cool. And of course, this is when they went through LA and everything. But this takes you back to loading the shuttle up and taking off. I'll have this link up. It's over on The Verge, and you can definitely take a look. Those of you that are Windows Phone 8 users, there's an update 3 is now available for the developers. So that means the new version's coming soon. HTC has launched the One Max with a huge 5.9-inch display and fingerprint scanner. This was over on Engadget. The actual fingerprint scanner is on the back of the device, which is kind of interesting. You put your finger on the back to unlock the phone. But a slew of details are available about this. But it boasts a 1080p LCD display up to 5.9 inches wide. And it has a aluminum feel, weighs 217 grams. Let's see here, what else? Has a 1200 mAh battery. Oh, the case adds an additional 1200 mAh to the capacity of the built-in one of 3300 mAh. So that's a lot of battery power. But anyway, if you are an HTC fan, definitely check out the One Max. Link will be up in the show notes for you to check out. Sonos, big fan of Sonos. I saw that their stuff is a little pricey, but Sonos has come out with what's called the Play One. It's a pint-sized wireless streaming speaker for $199. Probably good for an office speaker. I've got one of their bigger ones here in the office over in a corner. But if you want some, these are, I'm really a big Sonos fan. I've got a Sonos speaker in the bedroom, living room, and one here in the office, along with the ability to run it into my regular stereo. But $200, you can get one of these pint-sized wireless speakers. I have to consider that maybe as a potential Christmas present for myself this year. To replace the one here in the studio. How many of you use Snapchat? Well, if you use Snapchat and you send a Snapchat message to someone and you didn't read it, those unopened messages are available to law enforcement under search warrant. If you read the message, they do expire and they're not able to be read by that. So basically, a Snapchat message is available usually for 24 hours, but ones that aren't read are on their server for a lot longer time. So be aware of that, okay? Hey, Netflix is in talks with multiple cable companies to create an on-demand channel with Netflix content. According to Wall Street Journal, they are in talks with Comcast, Suddenlink, and Suddenlink Communications to add the service. We know that last month Netflix signed a deal with Virgin Media to put their service on set-top boxes. They wouldn't be a Netflix channel per se, just an app on their demand lineup, similar to what Dish did when they purchased Blockbuster. So do you think Netflix will be an actual cable channel? I don't think it ever will. But you never know. Those guys are being pretty aggressive over there. They really, really are. All right, another article over on Geek News Central, Google+. Oh, I already talked about this. Talking about adding shared endorsements. So Jen had done an article on that. So I'll have a duplicate article. So that'll be up in the show notes. The Chinese are fantastic about stealing ideas. They're not very creative themselves. They just copy everything. So there's some wonder how they got their hands on an Apache AH-64D. There's pictures of an Apache AH-64D on a trailer in China. I'm surprised. I'm sure DOD is like saying, where did we lose an Apache? But unless this is a movie mock-up, one has been acquired somehow, whether it be a recovered one from Afghanistan. But I'm going to tell you, what happens in Afghanistan when a helicopter goes down, it's not very long before it gets struck. In other words, they come in and bomb it. They blow it up. Or if they don't blow it up with the bombs from aircraft, they come in with EOD teams and dispatch the gear. So we don't know if this is a movie prop or if this is the PLA got the hold of an aircraft, but there are definitely some questions being asked and some surprised people, I'm sure, over at DOD. There's a great article over on the BBC talking about what it's like to be a day in the life of a drone pilot. Pretty good interview, some pictures there you maybe not see anywhere else. Anyway, I'll have that link up in the show notes for you to check out. Any of you considering a career in the Air Force, you can too fly a drone out of a Connex box, and you don't even have to. You go home to the wife every night instead of being deployed. Google-backed file sharing service spreads malware. Now you heard that correct. Google-backed file sharing service spreads malware. With hundreds of millions of active users, Zunlei, Xunlei, Zunlei is arguably the most used BitTorrent client in the world, almost exclusively in China. But aside from delivering entertainment, the company was recently found to be distributing malware to thousands of people through its services. The company, partly owned by Google, has fired the employees responsible and now offers an uninstaller to infected users. So Google owns a company that has a BitTorrent client. Huh. That's news to me. Did you guys know about this? But anyway, this particular BitTorrent client was dropping malware on its users' accounts. Google has issued a unloader for these dropped malware. They don't go into too much details of what this thing did, but definitely is. And they were also loading stuff onto an Android device. It makes you go, what are they doing? So let me think. Let's think about some nefarious. Let's go evil on this. All right, Google owns a piece of this BitTorrent client. Google, I'm sure, has some court relationship with the United States. And what if the United States wanted a way to get malware onto Chinese computers and Android users? I'm not saying that's possible, but it makes you go, huh. What really made me go, huh, was still that Google owned part of a BitTorrent company. I'm sure that makes the RIAA really happy. Zun Lei apologized for the mistake. The company said that the personnel responsible were acting without permission and have since been fired. There was a huge number of detections. Huge numbers. So, naughty. Hey, Yahoo's going to make SL encryption the default for webmail users finally. This beginning in January. Yahoo will enable encryption by default for users logging into its web-based mail service, according to the Washington Post. Also, if you're a business owner and you want to do a business campaign on Twitter, starting today, all marketeers using Twitter's ad products can schedule organic or promoted tweets for specific dates and times up to a year advance. They can be coordinated to go live with a new or existing promoted tweets campaign to enable you real-time campaigns at your convenience. Of course, get your credit card out, okay? Don't worry, they'll take your money. Last couple of articles here tonight. A drug has restored cells that are missing in MS patients. Multiple sclerosis, we know, is an autoimmune disease in which the immune system destroys the myelin sheaths surrounding neurons. These myelin sheaths are often linked to the insulation surrounding electrical wires. They enable the neurons to transmit electrical impulses specifically and efficiently. Cells called, oligodendrocytes make myelin and do so through adulthood. People with MS have plenty of this, and these cells are able to migrate to sites where myelination is required. The problem is that these precursor cells fail to mature properly into myelin-producing cells. So what they're basically saying is that they've come up with a drug that restores cells that are missing this. So this is pretty good news. Let me look here if they're seeing what else they're saying. The combination of drugs was as good in terms of results as standard therapeutic dose. But examiners are looking at this to do clinical trials to treat MS. So we'll see where this leads. So anyway, any of you have a family member with MS, this is something you want to pay attention to. Bloomberg Business Week, boy, they've got a pretty good hit piece out. The best, cheap, and probably legal way to watch every NFL game online. If you are living in the United States and you don't want to pay the $199 NFL ticket, there's a company called adfreetime.com. It's a Canadian startup. One a handful of providers offer what's called a DNS switching service. Launched in May by 26-year-old Richard Provost, the website offers subscribers the ability to mask their browser's location by rerouting the embedded geographic identifier through a server somewhere else in the world, turn on the region unlocking service through a simple web interface. Ad-free time was designed these as on-off buttons like light switches, and he basically, if you're looking to get NFL in some cases free or get access to other markets, you can do so with this service. So just be aware. I'll have that link up in the show notes for you to check out. United Airlines apparently had another site loophole offering you uber cheap fares again, something to do with Mileage Plus. Boy, oh boy, they need to get that fixed. I wish I'd have heard about that before they reported about it. All right, final article. You guys remember Otzi, the Iceman? Of course, Otzi was discovered, I think, in 1997 as a 5,300-year-old mummy. Well, they took DNA samples, and then in the Austrian area where this gentleman was found, they've been able to, because he had a genetic defect that transfers from male to male, they were able to find 19 living male relatives And this was done during a genetic study of 3,700 blood donors in the Tyrol region of Austria. So they figured out who their great grandfather was from 5,300 years ago. So anyway, I'll have to link up the show notes on that. That would be pretty wild to be told, hey, we got your caveman in here, your grandfather on ice, your great grandfather on ice. Oh man! All right, links. Got some emails here. See here. I got an email from ifaz.com talking about a SIM unlock and activation card for the iPhone 5S. He said, hey, just email to let you know we've launched one new product for iPads as follows: SIM unlock and activation card for the Apple iPhone 5S. This is an iPhone 5S unlock card, lets you jump out of the original subscription without jailbreak. And you just buy the SIM, and it allows you to unlock. And this was from ifaz.com. Don't know the validity of this. Do your own research. But if you want your phone unlocked, that might be a way to do it. Got an email from Nancy. It says, hey, Todd, makeuseof.com, which I first heard about on your podcast, had an article recently about yet another replacement for Google Reader. Only this one looks exactly like it and performs exactly like it. Same layout, same options, same keyboard shortcuts, everything. It's pronounced Bazzcooks, Bazzcooks. I asked the developer how to pronounce it, and it's spelled Bazzcook, Bazzqux. Oh my God. So Bazzcooks, Bazzqux. It is not free, but there are only 3 price points: $9, $19, and $29 per year. That's about as close as free as I need. I had settled on Digreader, but there was still no sorting OList first in it. I'm in Nancy. Nancy, I'm pretty happy with Feedly right now as a premium. I got an email from Tim, one of our listeners. He says, hey, I'm getting my GNC tweets on my Pebble. And he sent me a screenshot of a tweet I made at 15:09. It says, first time, and this is a tweet I made, first time in over a year I've heard and seen thunder and lightning in Hawaii. We had rain today like it was nobody's business, and it was a boomer, boom, 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 for about 4 hours. It was pretty crazy. Ron, yep, I know about your podcatcher issue. It was all because I didn't get the link up, dude. My apologies. It was behind, so that was why you weren't getting the show. And your email basically punched me in the gut to get it up. Thanks for the reminder. Got an email from another email from Karen. Let's see here. Hey, Todd, thanks for the plug and reading my email. I didn't ask for a plug for myself, but the mention is an honor, so thank you. I want to let you know, not sure if you remember that I used to be a writer on your blogs. I do, and, when you sent that, Karen, now I remember clearly. Yeah, absolutely. She says, when you were talking about the beginning and how you got started and the changes, that is when I came in, right at that time. I know this because my mother passed away in 2003, and I started listening to your show right away. Actually, it was 2004 when we started the show. When I finished my certifications after her passing or not long after, I remember copying it manually to my iPod and listening to my car. That an adapter at the time was the FM receiver one, and it would crackle all the way to work, but I still was on top of the technology train to get my geek news. Another thing that you may or may not realize is at the time, I remember when you started sponsoring GoDaddy, and probably if it was looked up as to when their first commercial aired, it was after they become a sponsored show. I could almost swear it was a Super Bowl. It was July of 2005 is when they become a sponsor here. I had never heard of GoDaddy until your show, and it seemed like they have become bigger in these 10 years, as you did. I also remember when you started using your audio promos for the beginning of the show, and happy when you switched from the first one, LLL. You have had a few promos. I thought I offered at one point to make you one. At that time, I had my online radio station. My gosh, it doesn't seem like as much time has gone by. As I said originally, glad you're still here and doing what you're doing. No other show compares. Well, thanks so much for that, Karen. I appreciate it. She says, I also want to comment on your rule for devices during dinner. My kids are both grown and out of the house, but we have family dinner usually every weekend at least once. Since they have since they have had cell phones, we do not allow any devices at the dinner table. When my son got married, my daughter-in-law tried, but I quickly told her she would be grounded, so we have a no-device rule. They do, however, whip them out at restaurants like the rules don't apply. I'm going to take your advice and try that rule as well. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, first person to look at their phone. My son, we did this the other night. We went and had Vietnamese noodles, and it's not real expensive, but my son tried to do a quick one and look at his cell phone. He bought dinner. It was funny. Here's the updated link for our boys on more of what they do and did to win the competition. If you're interested in wanting to plug our school, I'll have that up. Thank you again for the mention. I'm glad you've kept it a family show. Glad that you and your family are doing well, and looking forward to your big announcements and T-shirts. Karen. Hey, Karen, get your checkbook out. No, thank you so much. And if you feel you want to, please. And you do get a T-shirt. T-shirt's gonna be cool. Brian made the design. The actual link, the actual way the T-shirt looks, is on the actual over on the funding site. So definitely consider going over there. So again, I spent a lot of time at the beginning of the show talking about our crowdfunding. We hope that you get in and support us. Remember, $100 from you gets a special gift from me, and it'll be a one of how many ever, and we'll never give that particular gift away again. And it'll be something that you guys will be able to treasure and enjoy, something that we're going to put a little work into to make sure that has some great value for you. And those of you that come in at $500, if you're willing to spend that much, you're going to get a month of free advertising here on the show. We'll promote your product, your site, your podcast, your whatever, long as it's not adult related, okay? I can't do that. But we want to thank everyone for your consideration. And there's lower levels, 10, 25, 40. That $50 tax ride, $100 to buy dinner, $250 to buy breakfast. And if you're really feeling like, man, you really want to get in and support us, $5,000 level is available too. So again, bit.ly, bit.ly/TPN crowd, bit.ly/TPN crowd. The link will be up in the show notes. Thanks for being here. And don't forget GoDaddy, of course, is too. I don't even want to ask you to become an insider because I want you guys to help out with the crowdfunding. And we're going to be running the 60 days. And you're thinking, oh my God, I'm sick and tired of hearing him talk about this. So let's move the money quick. Let's get everything let's get everything sponsored and we'll be done. And then we won't have to talk about it, but I won't spend nearly as much time as we do. And we're going to be having some fun with this thing. And you guys can give us some ideas on how we can enhance the backer levels. And it's all meant to be a lot of fun. We're gonna do some viral stuff to get everyone some great exposure. So we hope that you get involved. Everyone, thanks. It was my pleasure to bring you the show tonight. I know I'm long. Thank you for being patient with me. We'll see you next time. Everyone, take care. Aloha.